Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's Market SITREP or Situation Report here at Top Gun Options TGO. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and kind of waited until after our accelerated retirement session today at 1 o'clock for the Fed announcement, and it really was kind of a non-event. We're going to get to that in a minute here. But good session this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We reviewed our existing positions on Brazil, EWZ. EWZ is looking great. Business Insider had an awesome report the other day about who really is benefiting from the trade war between the United States and China, and it's Brazil. And that's been our go-to trade recently. This afternoon, we chose to leg into an iron condor on the EWZ, thinking it's going to be range-bound here for a little bit. And that trade is risking about $3,000, max potential risk. And that trade's $3,000 to potentially make $4,500. So really good looking trade on EWZ this afternoon. We also took a look at closing a bull put spread on CSX that we've had on for a week. That is up $1,100. Last week, we closed up a CSX bull put spread that was up $2,000. So 2 weeks, over $3,000 in profits on a CSX bullish trade. And this thing is the gift that keeps on giving and just keeps heading higher. So really happy with those two trades. Good article today. Will the trade war lead to real war with China? As I've been briefing many of my members since this trade war more or less began, all eyes shouldn't be on trade. And even this Chinese admiral a couple months ago said, what are you talking about trade war? We could care less about the trade war. This is about strategic dominance. You guys can sign whatever the hell you want as far as trade. This is about overtaking the United States as a Pacific power and a global power. So that's really what to look at here. But the Kabuki Theater goes on in Washington as a big snowstorm's getting ready to hit. But China is doing some good China work right here, saying they're going to give a little and this and that. But folks, at the end of the day, does anybody listening to this brief believe that any trade agreement with China is going to be worth the paper it's written on? Do you actually think they're going to stop the forced transfer of technology? They're going to stop stealing our intellectual property. They're going to stop subsidizing Chinese businesses. That's China, folks. Those three big pillars are obviously the three biggest sticking points in this trade war with China. So if anybody thinks those are they might be resolved on paper, they're not going to stop. So I'm starting to get to the point here, folks. You can see right here on the S&P 500, we are reaching a quadruple top, 2,800, 2,800, 2,800, and we tried to hit it right now. Now, as the markets digest the Fed minutes even more, the market's starting to roll over a little bit harder here. But I'm feeling this rip your face off rally. We'll get to what the Fed minutes said here in a couple minutes, but I'm starting to believe that any sort of trade deal is kind of baked into this market already. This trade war has been the main overhang in the market. Obviously, the Fed ended capitalism here in the beginning of October and then saved us, towards the end of the year. But so now with all eyes on the China trade deal, what is the catalyst for this market to keep going higher? Corporate earnings weren't that good, and this rally right here, folks, has been mainly a FOMO rally from mom and pop retail investors and S&P 500 companies buying back their stock. So this rally is, I've called it the MacGyver rally. It's kind of being held up here with a paper clip and a straw and some string or something like that. It's any wrong move and we're heading to the downside here, folks. So the minutes today more or less confirmed everything that that the spoken word had said, that they're going to be patient with interest rate increases, but they're going to try and end the balance sheet runoff towards the end of this year. Remember QE, quantitative easing, right? The Fed more or less printing money and just throwing it at the stock market to keep it up. Ben Bernanke, the then Fed chief, was pumping $85 billion a month into the market to keep it essentially afloat. Now they got to get rid of those assets, right? They have $4 trillion on their portfolio that they're going to try and run off. So that's going to actually lead to some volatility ahead. So, but we really are at an at a precipice here. The market's either going to continue higher or we're heading lower. I don't think we're going to hit 2,800 and just kind of wallow around here with this 200-day moving average. I think the catalyst is actually to the downside. I just don't think any trade deal is going to be worth the paper it's written on, and the market's going to see through that. We might have an initial, pop, a nice little initial rip your face off rally and yay moment, but I think after that it's going to be a sell on the news. I'm still kind of formulating and coming up with that, but that's what I believe. Hey, real quick, welcome aboard to some folks who joined us yesterday in one of our partner swaps. If you're interested in maybe taking a test flight into what we do here at Top Gun Options for only $38 for the next week, for 7 days for $38, you can take a test flight into our live trade brief services. We trade live Monday through Thursday starting at 1 o'clock, and it's really good. So all you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/go flight. And like I said, for $38, you can get airborne and trade with us for the next week and check out what we're doing. We have really good-looking trades, as I said, on CSX, on EWZ, good-looking trades on Visa, and also China, and MGM and Raytheon. Really, Raytheon's been another gift that keeps on giving. Look at that chart. Just nice, good earnings, and just, Donald Trump is a guy that wants to turn our enemies into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. That is bullish for Raytheon. So really good looking trades here, folks. Just come join us. Check us out for 7 days for $38. All you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/go flight, and you can get airborne with us. Our next live trade brief will be tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, and then tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we're doing session 2 of our full throttle training. That is an 8-series training that starts off with, hey, this is the financial intelligence I look at, and we end up with more advanced tactics like iron condors and spreads and stuff like that. So get airborne with us today. Go to topgunoptions.com/go flight, and I'll see many of you tomorrow at 1 o'clock in our live trade brief.